Hello and welcome to Get Good. It is time for the results of our latest challenge, competition, whatever you want to call it. It was a wonderful and vibrant skin competition last time. And now we have moved on to True Metallics, TMM. Before we leap into it, if you like these challenges, if you like the work you see, really consider joining our community where we run these every month. Currently, we're doing a color palette challenge, which promises to be pretty spectacular, which isn't to say that the work here isn't amazing in its own right. As always, I am joined by the wonderful Magnus. And Magnus, to open, I think the critical question is, obviously you are a very accomplished NMM painter. It is rare for you to dive into TMM. I think you've said that you hate it in the past. So what were you looking for in terms of, what makes a good TMM paint job? I'm one of those people that have thought TMM looks spectacular in person. It can sometimes suffer a bit in photographs. What were you looking for with the judging team?
So I will say that I hate TMM in the effect that I hate my own TMM. I definitely don't hate TMM. I agree that it oftentimes photographs a bit worse because inherently it is very shiny, right? And it is all over. And because it's a small thing that is being lit by a very big thing, you kind of skew the lighting on your model. So it photographs pretty badly. I will say though that I honestly think that the strongest metal is kind of a combination. It is doing TMM and treating it like non-metallics, because you can do some tricks with like madness versus glossiness, and you can dull the shadows down and stuff like that. And I think at least to me, some of the true masters actually do this, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. It is almost unbeatable because you basically take the best of both worlds, combine it, and then just slam dunk it. So in this one of the things I personally struggled with from TMM was finish, both in terms of texture and in terms of controlling where do you want the light to be shown the most. And as I said, that you can do tricks to enforce it, of course, but I never got good at it, and I abandoned it years ago. So I guess I found my style, and then So it was something with we looked at finish. And we looked at color choice, and we looked at how it interacted with the piece, right? Yeah.
And I guess a critical point there, the we in this is the wonderful Miriam Klein, Mia, who won our skin competition with an incredible piece that also took best in category, I think, didn't it? One of the recent awards. Turns out Mia's a pretty good painter. So thank you very much, Mia, for helping judge this competition.
Yeah.
And on the judging, to everyone watching, we have decided to change the judging slightly, or the awards slightly, just because we've been very fortunate to grow as a community, certainly in the past few months, and with more entries, keeping it to a closed format just didn't feel what we wanted it to be, which is essentially a celebration of wonderful paint jobs. So we have moved it to an open format. So there will be multiple medals awarded in this presentation, and that's what we've decided to keep doing going forward. So our palette challenge and the next challenge, which we need to pick actually, Magnus, that'll be very exciting.
Yes, we do.
That'll be the post Golden Demon one. Very interesting. Will be coming up. So without further ado, let us leap into the entries, starting with this one from Desperate Minis Urungulu on the Discord. And Magnus, over to you. What do you think?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this piece. It's a piece that I've looked at countless times, thinking, oh, I should paint this. This is really a me piece. And then I look at the wings and think, maybe not.
Maybe not.
So the sculpt, the model, the posing, everything really speaks to me from the start. And I think the application of the metals are really good on this one. It shows like you can clearly see the focal points and the interactions between having silver elements and gold elements are really, really strong. Nice clean metals, and still focusing on having the shadows darker. I think this is really well executed. Yeah, I enjoy this one a lot.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you talked about there, the focal points, what really draws my eye is the decision, obviously, that the wings start light and then graduate into the darkness, and then you're punched with the TMM, which obviously makes the center of the model. So it's really framed nicely. As you know, I'm not the biggest Stormcast fan, but I was looking at this model the other day and actually thinking, and you actually see it on this photo, is the you could do some really nice cast shadow work, I think, with this if you were so inclined. It's one of the few miniatures that actually suits cast shadows, I think. So, I mean, maybe Eric Swinson will pick it up one day and show us how it's done. But this is, this is a gorgeous piece. So kudos to you. Desperate Minis, and a really nice opener to our TMM competition.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
Frostblight is next.
Yeah. This one is really exciting to me because this is basically the combination I was talking about, where, well, or at least pushed to the utmost. I've seen some work in progress pictures of this one, and I thought it was NMM in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was NMM, and well, I saw the paints on the palette afterwards, because we asked what kind of paints do you use? It was all kinds of metals, but you could clearly see that it was. And you can see from, this is obviously one photo, but there were multiple photos. And you can see that the shine kind of changes a bit, but it's still very focused. Like it is quite forced because of those, like the reflections that are painted in. And I really like, it's the first time I've seen it taken to basically this level of control, taking it basically from a TMM piece, because it's a full TMM, this one.
Yes.
And then forcing that TMM into more of a non-metallic style. And even if this was done in non-metallics, the reflections are really good. They are interesting and they work. So yeah, I think this one is exciting for me, really exciting, because I've frankly never seen anyone do it like this. Yeah,
and I'm risking told off because I'm one of those Dark Souls stands, and I couldn't tell you right now whether this is Ornstein or Smaug from the boss battle. All I know is the big guy, but you can see in the belly a hint of the environment that they are in, which within TMM is really pretty spectacular to see.
Yes.
It's one of those I'd love to see in person. I think it's beautiful in the images, but to hold it in the hand and almost rotate it to see how each thing catches.
Just so it shimmers a bit.
Yeah, really spectacular. And also, I think the thing you can often struggle to see in singular images is the different in mediums. If it's a satin, a gloss, and a matte, and understanding how different metallics have different properties as it pertains to those reflections. So I think this would be even more spectacular in hand, which is not to say that it doesn't look gorgeous in the picture. So very well done to you, Frostbite. This is a really nice and interesting piece. And Dark Souls, so it's already a winner in my head.
I would even like just a video snippet of this one.
Yes, we shall request.
Because just a slight snippet where you kind of turn it just a bit so you can see everything is I would like to see.
Another, is this, actually I'm going to get told off by the law police. White paints, is this another Stormcast, Manus?
Yes.
Okay.
It's one of the new ones. Yes.
Okay.
Very Stormcasty.
So we have a lava base, which I really like. What do you think? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I really like this one too. I mean, I honestly, for me, I'm blown away by all of these pieces because it is something that, well, maybe I could recreate it, but not without struggling at least, because I would have to really try and this doesn't come natural to me. Well, I haven't put time into it, of course, so obviously it wouldn't, but yeah, so all of these entries are pretty spectacular to me, and this one not less than the others. I really enjoy the bold colors. I really enjoy that you can see those like the very red reflections in the armor, and yeah, he painted the TMM on the wings, where it's kind of you can see the glow from within every wing that is overlapping, and then having kind of like a very worn, almost rusted steel, because it is so close to flame. I think it's masterfully done. Yeah, I think so. This is another piece that I really enjoy the look of. The boldness of the reflections are really nice, because it's easy for them to get kind of lost within, because it is TMM, it will shine and shimmer a lot. So they could quite easily be lost within it. So going bold with it to make sure that they are seen. Yeah, I do like that. Yeah.
I think you alighted on one of the things that I have felt about all the entrants here is that no one just like, oh, it's TMM, so I just paint the metallic and I'm done. But actually, what is this? How does it operate? How do I work color in? How do I work finish, shadow? And everyone has taken that approach. And to see, see a piece of this quality, certainly from White Paints, who when I look at their work on the Discord, is always very colorful and punchy. To see that reflected in a TMM piece is really exciting to me, and I think shows that the quality of this piece in particular. And you know what? Maybe a few of these make me excited for Stormcast. Maybe one day I'll paint one again. If I'm feeling foolish.
Yeah. Oh, so every challenge we just put a Stormcast there, and in the end you're indoctrinated. You have to do one. Yeah.
Is that or a Dante? I'm afraid at this point, which is a scary thought.
Yeah.
James Southernwood. Long-standing past judge, past winner, and this is a pretty special piece, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. This is really tasty. It's another one of these where you've taken your true metallics and you've treated them so that you have the shine exactly where you want it to be. You can see the tip of the blade is very shiny. Like you would on NMM. I've never seen anyone paint this model where the shine isn't there. So it's kind of like it has to be. It's where it makes the most. Yeah, it kind of makes the most sense. But you could have done all of the blade in that shiny metallic look, but dulling it down just makes that shine spot stand out even more. And the same with the bell. I think the bell is really nicely done, because it's a big metal object, and if you put a lot of TMM there, it would be hard not to have all your focus go straight to that shiny spot, right? If you had it in bright brass or whatever. So dulling it down with by washing over and controlling the finish, and then putting a verdigris on. I think the verdigris on this piece is spectacular. It is exactly the amount I would want to see. Not too much, not too little. To me at least, this is the perfect amount. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's clever use of verdigris as well. Like I know it's easy to say, it's on the rivets. Well, it's not. It's a framing tool as well. Like it's used well to frame the lettering on the blade, but then also. The bell, which unfortunately in my image selection, this isn't the best picture to show off that bell, but how it graduates from the metallic into the verdigris, so it slopes, and then you get that matted finish. It's really nice.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's masterfully done.
Handy as James is a master.
Yeah.
Speaking of masters, certainly of the TMM challenge, our final entrant, I believe, Knight in Cantor. And before handing over to you, one of the things I would like to say is at the start or just before this challenge, Knight, who is known for his TMM, was kind enough to do essentially a workshop in the Discord to talk about kind of methods of application for TMM. And that was really appreciated. It's a real kind of iron sharpens iron approach. So thank you for that, Knight. But Manus, over to you. What do you think?
Yeah, so first thing I think when I look at this is color selection is just on point. It's that kind of the soft rosy and kind of magenta colors with teal is just, you can never go wrong with that. And one of the things, as I said, we looked at is we wanted the metallics to feel like they belonged with the entirety of the piece, right? So even though this was obviously focused on metallics, it still has to belong, right? So it can't look out of place. And a rosy copper like that, it can look a bit out of place, right?
Yes.
And it's something I haven't seen done before, I think, in TMM at all. I think this is the first time I see it. And it really, really fits the piece. I think it's because it's framed as it is. You can see a bit of the teal on the base. Even though the plants are green, some of them lean a bit into teal as to tie it into teal ropes, which complements the rosy elements perfectly. Yeah. The finish on this one is really good. Having it like you can easily get a bit of texture on TMM. It's hard to avoid it actually.
Yes.
Only because of like the flaking within the paint itself.
Yes, actual metal particles in the paint.
Yes. So it is quite hard, and you might have to do a fair few passes because if you want to do a kind of a gradient, so you have, let's say, darker TMM, but you have the shine spots almost up to a silver, for example. So you go over and over, and getting a smooth finish and dulling down the shadows without them turning like muddy is really hard. So yeah, I think it's executed really, really well on this one. The shine is exactly where it should be, and the shadows is they're great. They're kind of a bit bluish tealish too, to tie in with and it's something Knight almost always does. Keeps the shadows in mind. We saw it in the workshop too, where he basically talked through whenever he does true metallics. It's one of the things he thinks into the piece, into the metallic. What color do I put there? Because if I don't put color, you actually accidentally get something muddy and dark, and it detracts from the metallics, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I appreciate when I've done some of the work on TMM is, so my personal preferred working method is dark to light, and how TMM you always really have to go light to dark because you don't know where the reflections will be highest, so you have to plan around that, and to do that get some really moody shadow. There's a darkness to a lot of Knight's work, which I mean in the nicest way. It is very moody, very atmospheric. And to do that in a TMM style, I think is incredibly difficult and shows really kind of his artistic direction, his push. So really nicely done, Knight, as always.
Yeah.
So it's in our brave new open world we have multiple. So this isn't bronze winner, this is bronze winners. And without further ado, our bronze winners. Urungulu or Desperate Minis and White Paints are two bronzes.
As I said, I think these two, they are kind of similar, obviously from sculpt and posing and stuff like that. but also in their expression. I think White Paint takes it because his style is a bit more bold and colorful, but they kind of show the same, that the nice framing of the character, basically because of a big shine spot right at the chest. Yeah, both really good entries, and I will say that I'm really impressed by how close these entries were, because I mean, some people might have a lot of experience with the TMM, and some not as much. But even getting your entries to be this close, it was not easy to judge it, actually. Not because I don't know what to look for, because I did, but it's just there's so much subtlety. TMM is not just TMM. No.
There's a lot of very difficult decisions. It sounds, when I was talking to you through about the judging, is ultimately all of these are a very high piece, which is ultimately, I think, why the open format suits it. So congratulations to the two of you. Moving on then, our silver winners are James and Frostblight.
Yeah, these two are just a tiny tad better in my opinion. Kind of on two different levels, in the sense that the James one is very clean, very nice, and lots of thought put into composition and what do I want to stand out and what do I not want to stand out. And the other one is that NMM style effect is just, it's gorgeous. I really enjoy it. I've never seen it to that level before, and as I said, I think I don't even think that picture does it justice, because I saw some other pictures and from other angles, and you can see that the light is changing slightly while still being kind of held in place by the dulled down reflections. It's two amazing pieces. Yeah,
and I think both of these, what we were saying at the start of this video is that TMM is very hard to photograph, but both of these still look spectacular in the photograph.
Yes.
So it really does show that level that they're pushing to.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, eagle-eyed viewers would know there's a process of elimination. And so our gold winner is Knight in Cantor, a singular gold.
Yeah.
And what a special piece.
Yeah. Mir and I picked this one because it is just a bit above it. It's the composition of it all in color, and it's making that soft, rosy looking copper really work. And I think one of the standout things with this is actually putting shadows on something that is quite delicate and still having it work, and then you force the lighting so that it is still very shiny on the chest, on the backing, on the at the head. Yeah, it is really good. Unfortunately, you can't see, and that's a gripe against the model, not the painter, because I paint this model too, and unfortunately, from the main view, you can't see the axis, which is a real shame on the design team. If they had only angled it just a tiny bit so you could actually see them, but well, they didn't. But those axes are brilliantly done too, with kind of like the same type of reflections that James did on the blade of the Gracier. The same thing is done on these two blades. You will have to take my word for it, but
yeah, just trust the judges know what they're on about. I think is generally a good starting point. So thank you for, number one, well done, Knight. It's a really special piece, and
it is a special piece.
One of the Discord's masters of TMMs really decided to flex in this challenge. So congratulations, a thoroughly deserved win. That brings us to the end. I hope you have enjoyed this. I've certainly enjoyed looking at all the pieces. I think one of my favorite things about the monthly challenges is seeing the whips come in bit by bit and understanding the work that's gone into them and the thought patterns and the creative decisions. And just what that takes to go into a final piece. So like I say, if you're interested, you can check out the Patreon. You can head to getgoodpainting.com and check out all the other stuff. And we have merch now. You can see it on YouTube. It's below. There's a beanie hat and some other things if you're so inclined.
T-shirts and long sleeves and yeah.
Absolutely. And Magnus and I will be
hopefully
rocking
next
those
one
at
I'll
Golden
be
Demon.
wearing a
Golden
logo
Demon
T-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. For the recording. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
But that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.